Hey, what's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to tell you a crazy story from jail about some Mexican guy that I used to have to lock in with, who was there for cutting his wife into fucking pieces, putting her in a garbage bag, and dumping it in the woods, and how he got caught. All right? So the guy actually got away with it. All right? This is what was told to me from him. All right? So he got away with it. He killed the wife. He said the reason he killed her was because she was having an affair. I don't know whether that's true or not. But the way he ended up in jail for this charge was not because the cops caught him. What happened was his sons, he had two sons, and his sons were Mexican gang members. And when they found out that the mom was killed, they had their own reason or suspicion to think that it was the dad. So they actually confronted the dad and told him and gave him the option of either turning himself in and confessing to the murder, or that they were going to kill him themselves. So he ended up, I guess it was serious and his sons were killers or whatever, but he ended up turning himself in for a murder because his own children told him to. All right? So another thing about this guy that was very unusual and strange was that he was actually, I remember he used to walk around the unit with a Bible, right? Very strange dude. He was quiet and he used to try to practice some kung fu stuff, which is bullshit because when a real fight happened, he had nothing to fucking contribute at all. Zero. And I used to tell him that kung fu shit won't help you when shit goes down in here. But back to the point I was going to make. He walked around with the Bible all the time, and he started telling me, after a couple months of being in the same unit with him, he started telling me that God was going to get him out of prison. God told him that he was going to get out and be freed. And I kept telling him, I was like, yo, you understand that what you're here for? You understand what the punishment for this? You understand that you admitted it? You actually showed them where the fucking garbage bag was with the chopped up body. They went there and retrieved it. They have the murder weapon. They have everything. You understand? Like, I felt like he was kind of crazy, like lost in his own, fantasy that he was going to get out of this. But nevertheless, he continued and told me, God's going to get me out of this, right? So I'm not one to knock anyone's belief, whatever you believe. I, too, was facing life in prison, and I was saved by God miraculously. Took many miracles. So I'm not going to say it's not going to happen for him. And incredibly, right, he ended up being found guilty, and then he appealed. He appealed because he said something about misrepresentation in his first trial, and they vacated his guilt, his loss in the trial. They removed it, and they gave him a new trial. So when that happened, I'm thinking, man, maybe he's right. Maybe he is going to get out. But instead, in the state of New Jersey where I am, guys, if you win in trial, right, they will keep fucking trying you over and over again. It's amazing. So there's something called double jeopardy laws where you're not supposed to be charged again for something. Meaning if you go through the process, you went through the motions, you won the trial, you were found not guilty, that should be the end of it. But in my experience, that's not what happens in the state of New Jersey. Not for anything serious. They will continue to try you over and over. I know of people that were tried 3 and 4 times before the state finally got a guilty verdict. And then they're happy with that and off you go to prison. So he was found guilty, again, in the second trial, and he ended up getting sentenced to 30 years, where he had to serve 30 years, which he's currently doing now in Trenton State Prison in New Jersey. And in my opinion, I mean, life's over for someone like this. On a personal level, I don't know what happened. All I know is that he did this to this woman. That is very fucked up and wrong, of course, against everything I stand for. But without knowing the details, I'm not going to be judging him based on, his charges alone. I can't. So the last piece of story I'm going to share with you with regard to this guy was one of my own appearances in court one day. Right? So I'm in front of this judge. This guy's name is Judge DeVisa in Middlesex County. And he was a good judge, I have to say. He was very fair, very reasonable, not an asshole like a lot of other judges I've been in front of. So because I've been going to court so much, I had a good rapport with the judge also. So he allowed me to speak freely in court for whatever I was thinking, which I appreciated. So during one of my bail reduction hearings, I think that's what it was, he was telling me the reasons why, based on my charge, the severity of it, that my bail was to stand. It was like $2 million. They had a total of $2 million bails on me, and then they put a special hold on me. A special hold where I was not allowed to bail out, even if I had the money. It's unbelievable. And I remember when he asked me, do you understand why this is what I'm telling you? Do you understand my explanation? Do you have any questions? And I thought back to that Mexican, and right there in court, I said, you know what, Judge? I do have a question. And he said, what's your question? I said, how in the world is it possible that I am locked in a unit with a guy who murdered his wife, chopped her up into fucking pieces, okay? Dumped her body in the woods. They found the body. They found the murder weapon. He admitted to it. And he only has a $500,000 bail. How in the world can anybody in their right mind consider me more of a threat than him? I haven't murdered anybody. I haven't raped anybody. For the most part, I'm here for a bunch of conspiracy charges. That's it. Conspiracy and a bunch of guns. Fine. I was a bad boy. Fine. But this guy cut his wife into pieces. And I just share that part of it with you to give an example of the craziness of the court system and how they do things. I mean, I hope you guys can all agree that without me having murdered anybody, how could my bail be 4 times the amount of that guy? And the judge didn't have an answer, guys. He basically sat there and with a dumb look on his face because he knew he couldn't explain, but he had to do what he had to do. So I hope you guys appreciated this story, guys. I just remembered this thing a couple minutes ago and wanted to share it with you. I know a lot of you guys like these jail stories. So please comment if you have anything to say, and I'll talk to you next time.